Keith is gay. Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk with Tom. My name is Tom, and Voltron. Voltron is a show on Netflix I've been putting off watching for quite some time now. And all my friends, a lot of them, you guys know, have been gushing over this show. They're like, oh my god, you need to watch Voltron. It's like the best show ever. Or, you know, that's a dramatization, but like, they've been really hype on this show. I was listening to all this hype. I was expecting like this incredible, amazing show. And now that I've seen it, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not incredible. It's okay. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. So let's talk about why I feel the way I feel about Voltron. Honestly, it's probably mostly just taste. Probably. But, you know, let's talk about it and see if that's the case. Basically, the way I describe Voltron to people who ask me what it is it's basically anime Power Rangers in space. Pretty much what it is. It's actually based on a cartoon from the 80s, also called Voltron.
They tattooed my arm. Did they get yours too, Lance?
Zarkon will pay for this tattoo.
This calls for brains, not brawn.
You're right, Keith. Let's put our heads together and work out an escape plan.
With basically the same premise. 5 paladins, they all ride in lions, or lionesses, basically, because those lions don't have manes. All the lions form together into like a Gundam-looking robot, and then they fight things. So really, those are female lions, meaning Voltron's a woman. Voltron's a woman! There are actually 6 characters involved in the creation of Voltron, but let's not get into spoilers for this video, because minor spoilers maybe here and there, but nothing major. The original 5 at the beginning of the series are Keith, Lance, Shiro, Pidge, and Hunk.
Are you sure about this? They aren't exactly the best and brightest the universe has to offer.
Those are paladins that the series starts off with, not necessarily the original paladins, because that's a whole nother story. Along with the paladins, you have Princess Allura and Koran. They are Alteans. They are aliens, who are the original people who discovered and developed Voltron. Kinda, sorta. That's basically it. They're basically like elf-human aliens who have like super high-tech technology. High-tech technology, that's kind of redundant, but whatever. It's my show, I can say whatever I want. High-tech technology. So along with all this, there's this evil alien called Zarkon. Kind of like Zircon from Steven Universe, but Zarkon. He's this big, beefy lizard guy, and he's got a witch lady, and she, let's not, but, I mean, this is kind of a spoiler, but not really. He has a son, Prince, but, I mean, it's not a spoiler, it's all over promotional stuff. You go and you'll see a poster for Voltron, and he's on the poster. Well, I'm gonna be honest, this show is kind of boring to me. I'll be honest, it's slow. It's kind of slow. I feel like the show relies a lot on the popularity of the characters rather than actually telling an interesting story. There haven't really been a whole lot of compelling situations for characters to be in beyond like trying to find Pidge's brother and dad. Yeah, I mean, beyond that, there haven't really been any other stories that really pulled me in. And I mean, that's just me, I think. I think I'm alone in that, because it seems like for a lot of people, Lance's insecurity in himself, or Allura's nationalism and subtle racism that she overcomes in like an episode or two. That's enough. That's enough for them to get invested in. And if that's the case, then power to them. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you don't understand the deep context of true art. Dog, I don't care. Like, it's a TV show. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm not gonna say anyone who likes this show is uncultured or anything. You know, for me, this stuff only means so much to me, so it's like, I don't really get that attached. Anyways, most episodes either consist of people talking, people fighting in space, people flying through space, them talking in space, or them going to an alien planet for a day and doing stuff. And along with that, they work in like mini character arcs into those situations that are resolved pretty quickly. I think the longest character arc there's been, besides like Pidge trying to find their brother and dad, is like probably like 5 episodes. And I mean, all that probably works well for most people viewing the show, but for me, it feels flat to me. I don't know why. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe it's probably on my end, honestly. It's probably like I haven't opened up my third eye to appreciate Voltron yet. So, I mean, I'll explore this a little bit by comparing Voltron to Legend of Korra. And this is a fair comparison, because the same team that worked on Korra works on Voltron. Ironically, I have a much higher opinion of Korra than most people while most people have a much higher opinion of Voltron than I do. I'm just on the wrong side of both of these shows. In Korra, every season had an overarching story. No matter what would happen in the story, it would always affect what was going on moving forward. This probably wasn't as good as The Last Airbender, where you had one main villain, and it was all building up to facing that villain at the end of the series, which I'll admit, Korra, as far as that goes, did not perform as well as far as pacing the villains went. But let's look at how Korra told an isolated story. One example is when Korra is recovering from her fight with Zahir. She has PTSD, she has to recover physically as well as mentally, and in telling that story of her recovery, there was a beginning, there was a middle, and there was an end. The beginning being that she left her friends to go back home and recover physically with her family. Over time, she isolated herself more and more, and she became the most isolated when she went off so she could just be completely alone and deal with her emotional problems by herself until she was guided to Toph in the swamp. And then by the end of the arc, she was recovered enough to go back to a semi-normal way of life and start trying to save the world again. But even then, PTSD doesn't really work like that. Trust me, it doesn't. And she had to go and face her problem head on, going to Zahir and basically resolving the issue that way. But ultimately, in my opinion, I thought that was a great arc. I thought Korra alone was like one of the best episodes within the Legend of Korra series. And that was like the climax of that arc. And then you compare that to Voltron, compare that to, say, after the team fought Zarkon at the end of the first season, or was it the end of the second season? I don't even remember. But they fought Zarkon, and then Shiro just disappeared, and everyone's like, where'd Shiro go? You know, it was a thing where they were like just kind of going on as usual, and then after a while, like, an episode opened up from Shiro's perspective, and he was like in this like prison cell, and he had long hair and a beard, and like I don't even understand how his hair grew that fast. And like he's trying to get back to the team, and then he gets back, and then they have to like readjust, and like it felt weird because like they just dropped it all of a sudden. Like they set it up at the end of one season, and then they started the next season, then they just kind of went on like acknowledging it once in a while but not really doing anything with it, and then all of a sudden it's just like they randomly open that can of worms back up, and then in the same episode they resolve it, and it just kind of felt weird. It felt off. It didn't feel like there was a beginning, a middle, or an end. It felt like there was just a setup, some time, and then just a resolution that didn't feel earned. I don't know. I'm not in love with anything I see in this show. It doesn't pull me in. It doesn't invest me. It's enjoyable. It's the type of show that I like having on in the background while I'm doing other stuff, but it's like, maybe if they do a Hunk arc, I'll be more invested, because I like Hunk as a character. But I don't know, it's just the brooding, angsty dudes who might be gay having their feelings. It just, I don't know, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. This show isn't bad by any means. I don't think it's bad. In fact, it's pretty darn great in a lot of ways. It's just not for me. So I encourage anyone who's watching this to go and watch Voltron, give it a try, see what you think. You might like it a lot more than I did. In fact, you probably will. I don't know. I don't ever want anyone to think like they shouldn't like a show just because I don't like it. Oh, and there goes the camera. That means that we're done. Thank you for watching Let's Talk with Tom on the Roundtable, but Tom isn't just on the Roundtable. I have my own self-titled personal channel. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Snapchat, I have all that good stuff. In fact, I even have a Tumblr. So, if you're interested in any of that, check that out, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!